right, and we are back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast. And for the third part of the show, we are going to talk about the American League scores from yesterday, more specifically the Astros taking the series against the Mariners. And actually, something that I wanted to mention in the first segment, not baseball related, basketball related, and obviously there's a show out for that, the basketball podcast here on the GSMC Sports Network with Kashan, so you could check that out and watch it. But Damian Lillard getting traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. So you're going to have now Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo together on the same team, which, I mean, and all the rumors you heard about was him getting traded to Miami, with the Heat. And he ends up going to the Bucks. So that's going to be something really fascinating to watch during the season. And once again with the NBA, it's like there's crazy trades and stars going to different places. It's wild. But yeah, go check out that with the GSMC Basketball Podcast. But that's just something. I mean, again, I wanted to mention it just because it's a huge star going from one team to go play with another star in Giannis, who is two-time MVP and a champion. So that is something that I wanted to bring up. So now let's get back into baseball. Just wanted to bring that up. But so obviously you had the Astros and the Mariners, and last night's game was crucial. If the Mariners ended up winning, they would have, I believe, passed the Astros, and they would have taken over that third wild card spot. So this was the rubber game of a 3-game set, and this is the last time these two teams will play each other. Mariners, they are going to be playing now a 4-game series with Texas, so that's coming up tonight, starting tonight. And the Astros were the team to come away with the victory, winning 8-3. So we'll go through the box score very quickly. So J.P. Crawford, he led off the bottom of the first with his 18th home run of the season. Yordan Alvarez hit his 31st home run of the season to tie the game. Mauricio Dubon, he hit a 3-run homer. That was a big 3-run home run to take the lead and put the Astros up 4-1. Suarez singled, a 2-run single in the bottom of the fourth to make it 4-3. Kyle Tucker doubled to score a run. Jose Abreu singled to score a run. Michael Brantley, he singled to score a run. And Martin Maldonado hit his 15th home run of the season. And it ended up being 8-3. And right now, as it currently stands, the Astros hold a 1.5-game lead over the Mariners for that third wild card spot. Right now, they're 87-72, and they are a half game back of the Toronto Blue Jays. Because right now, the Blue Jays have the second wild card spot, but the Blue Jays have lost the first 2 games against the Yankees. So, not very good for the Blue Jays, because now they could find themselves in the third wild card spot if they're not too careful. The Astros, obviously, they finish up the season against the Diamondbacks. The Blue Jays are going to be playing against the Rays once they're done playing against the Yankees. And then, of course, you have the Mariners 4-game set with Texas tonight. So anything can happen over this weekend. And the Blue Jays, I mean, once again, they are showing us right now in big moments, they shrink. I mean, they're losing the first 2 games. Now, obviously, yesterday you're going up against Garrett Cole, so the odds are kind of stacked up against you. And Aaron Judge is back in the lineup, and he hit 2 home runs. But the Blue Jays right now in the series with the Yankees have been outscored 8-0. They haven't scored a run in this series. So, I mean, tonight could be different. You got Luke Weaver on the mound with Chris Bassett going for the Blue Jays. They should win tonight. They should. I'm expecting them to win. If they don't win tonight, and then you're going up against the Rays, I mean, I don't know what to say. But to kind of go back to the Astros and the Mariners for a second. So obviously this game was highlighted by the benches clearing. And, I mean, listen, for the Mariners right now, I mean, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Now, the Blue Jays can end up like if the Mariners play great this weekend and the Blue Jays, they lose the series against the Rays, I mean, you got to like your chances. I mean, it's possible, but the Mariners, they got swept by Texas, and then they just lost 2 out of 3 to the Astros. So right now, Not looking good, but they're at home now against Texas. So we'll just have to wait and see. But right now it's tough. And the Astros, I mean, this was a big series win for them because they were reeling. I mean, getting swept by the Royals. That was huge. And it looks like Texas is going to wrap up the division. They did win again last night. Right now the Astros are 2.5 games back. Mariners are 4 games back. It's pretty much a wrap, I think. I think Texas, they're going to get this division. And yeah, it's but I think I really do think the Mariners are going to be the team that's on the outside looking in. But we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, so let's go through the Texas Angels score. So it was 5-0 last night. That ended up being the final score. Dunning pitched very well, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Chapman got the hold in that, and Lex Lear. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't even know how to. Lex Luthor? No, I have no idea. That's a tough name to pronounce. I really got to look at the pronunciations for some of these names before, because I just, there are so many names I just cannot pronounce. Leclerc. I have no idea. Leclerc? Maybe. I was saying Leclerc. Yeah, no. Maybe it's Leclerc. I feel like that's Leclerc. I don't know. I gotta stop. All right, I'm gonna stop attempting to do it now. But yeah, let's go through the box score, the game summary. So Adolis Garcia, he had their first 2 runs. He doubled to score a run. Simeon scored on that. Hit his 38th home run on the season. Evan Carter hit his 5th home run of the season to put them up 4-0. Simeon his 29th, and that was the final score, 5-0 there. So, I mean, the Rangers are taking care of business. That's what they're supposed to do. Obviously, they did lose one of the games in this series against the Angels, but I think they have this division wrapped up. But, again, the Mariners, they're playing the Mariners, so the Mariners are fighting for their playoff lives right now. So it's going to be a tough series, even though, they came off of that sweep against the Mariners in Texas. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. The Rays winning 5-0 against the Red Sox. Glasnow picked up the win there, so he pitched very well. Orioles did win as well, so they're getting close to that, to clinching that division. They got their 99th victory. They're gonna have 100. They're gonna have 100 wins on the season, which is crazy. Rays can still do that as well, but they're gonna have to obviously sweep the Blue Jays. So, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, the Orioles, they look like they're gonna get 100 wins, and that, again, that's just incredible that they were able to do that this season. Once they officially get it done. So yeah, but good for the Orioles. But yeah, they closed the gap in the division, and then obviously, yeah, you got the Blue Jays losing 6-0 to the Yankees, which, again, listen, you had a golden opportunity the other day to at least take the first game of the series because there was no Aaron Judge. Now you go up against Garrett Cole, who throws a shutout against you, and Aaron Judge hits 2 home runs, and you lose the game 6-0. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. I mean, now you're a half game up on the Astros for the second wild card spot. You're going to find yourself in the third wild card spot. And if that's the case, you better hope that Texas, does really well against the Mariners. And even if you don't do good against the Rays, because then you'll still make it. But you got to win games. They are not doing what they're supposed to be doing right now. And they only had 2 hits yesterday. That was the other thing too. And they were both by one player, Brandon Belt. 2 hits. That's it. Springer 0 for 4, Bichette 0 for 4, Vlad 0 for 3, Biggio 0 for 3, Chapman 0 for 3, Kirk 0 for 3, Merrifield 0 for 3, Kiermaier 0 for 3. I mean, nothing. I mean, there was only 5 strikeouts yesterday. But again, against the Yankees, I mean, the Yankees aren't good. I mean, again, I know it's Garrett Cole. So obviously, yes, it's going to be tough. But still, where's the urgency? It's not a guarantee you're going to have this wild card spot. And the worst thing for any team is having to rely on somebody else to get you in the playoffs. You got to control your own destiny. Right now, the Blue Jays still do, but they have to win tonight. They have to. Same thing with the Mariners. Going up against Texas, you have to win tonight. And I feel like anytime I say that, it's the team loses. Like the Cubs, like, you got to win tonight too. You have to. But, I mean, it's easier said than done. But, yeah, because there's only 4 days left. There's today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. That's it. Season's over after that. Regular season's over. Playoffs start. So for these few teams, it's not a guarantee right now. Like the Mariners right now, it's tough right now because they're a game and a half back, but that could change in an instant. I mean, if they win tonight and the Blue Jays lose again and the Astros win, I mean, it's going to be mayhem. It's going to be mayhem. I really don't see the Blue Jays lose. I don't see them losing tonight. I think they at least win tonight. If the Yankees win, I mean, that's good. Yankees played spoiler again. I mean, Yankees are already playing spoiler against them right now. So, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. It's gonna be close. But I really am just. It's the same story, different year with the Blue Jays. They come up small in big spots. And the trend is continuing with that. Now, they end up making the playoffs and, doing well. Then I won't be saying that anymore. But right now, it's still remaining true. And they have a good pitching staff. Obviously Barrios, Aaron Judge kind of, had his number yesterday, hitting a home run off of him. But you got Bassett on the mound tonight. Gosman pitched a great game the other night. I mean, you're wasting some of these good pitching performances. Well, you at least wasted Gosman's pitching performance. Got Bassett on the mound against Luke Weaver, who is pitching for the Yankees in 2023. Now, Luke Weaver actually did pitch okay the other day against the Diamondbacks, I think, from what I remember. But that's a guy you got to hit. You got a very good lineup. This should be a game you win tonight. But if you get swept by the Yankees, I mean, I'm not taking you seriously. I'm not. But if they win tonight, that keeps them in the second wild card spot, and you won 2 out of 3 against the Rays, I believe. So the last time they just played them, so you're gonna have to do that again. Because if you don't, I mean, it all depends on what the Mariners do. That's the other thing too. Mariners got this big series with Texas. It's gonna come down to the Blue Jays and the Mariners right now. It looks like it. But again, the Astros, they're playing the Diamondbacks, so yeah. But some big series coming up this weekend. But so that's pretty much it with the third part of the show. So when we come back, we're going to preview all the games for tonight, and then that will pretty much wrap up the show for today. So before I go to break again, once again, I want to remind you guys, for donations or tips for the show, to tip or donate to the show and get your comments recognized, go to streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. Again, it really helps the show. And for bonus coverage materials that are not on this live broadcast, make sure to go to patreon.com and search up GSMC Sports Network, and that's where you can find all the exclusive content, whether it's with my podcast, the Fantasy Football Podcast, the College Football Podcast, and the Basketball Podcast. So I just want to remind you guys of that. So when we come back, we will preview all the games for tonight, talk about the playoff implications with obviously a lot of those games, and that will pretty much wrap up the show for today. So stick around, and we will be right back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast.